What is color? We may think of color as ways to describe things, like colors are stuck to something because they're made that way, but it was actually created by the light an object reflects. Different colors emit different wavelengths that our photoreceptors recognize. Each color has a specific wavelength.
But what's a photoreceptor and how does it have to do with wavelengths and light?
Well, let's start at the beginning of the story. It all started with Isaac Newton in 1665 when he poked a knife into his eye. He wanted to see if color came from within the eye, but all he could see were white spots. After this, he got a prism in a dark room with only a little hole in the curtains to let the light shine through. He placed the prism in front of that hole and waited for the sun to shine the light through. The light shattered and became a rainbow on the wall. Newton called it a colored image of the sun. When he put a second prism in the first prism's blue section of the rainbow, it stayed blue, disproving the idea that a prism dirties the pure and holy white light. He came to the conclusion that all colors mixed together are white. From this discovery, Newton made the first color wheel consisting of a rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Roy G. Biv. In 1802, another young scientist, Thomas Young, suggested a trichromatic theory. Evidence came in the 1850s when Hermann von Helmholtz theorized that the human retina is made up of photoreceptor cells called cones. They are only responsive to red, green, and blue. From these three colors, there is still a wide spectrum of colors we can see. This is called the Young-Helmholtz theory.
I think I understand most of what you're saying. Isaac Newton stuck a knife into his eye only to see white, showing that color came from the outside world. Then he used a prism to show how white light is made up of all those colors put together. Newton then made the first color wheel, and then about 85 years later, Helmholtz, based off of Young, theorized we are only responsive to three colors.
Yes, exactly. So what were you unsure about?
Well, I seem to get the big idea, but I don't know what cones and photoreceptors are.
Okay, photoreceptor cells are neurons found in the retina that are capable of visual phototransduction. Visual phototransduction is when light is converted to electrical signals by rod or cone cells. This happens in receptors called opsons. There are two types of photoreceptor cells, rod and cone. Rod cells are used for dark vision, like at night, and cone cells are used for colors. There are three types of cones in the human eye. L cones that respond to long wavelengths emitted by reddish colors, around 560 nanometers. M cones that respond to medium wavelengths emitted by greenish colors, around 530 nanometers. And S cones that respond to short wavelengths, around 430 nanometers, emitted by bluish colors. When the wavelength hits the photoreceptor, it triggers proteins to change shape in the cell membrane, which triggers action potentials to the brain, where it is processed into color.